Good evening, and welcome to our new live play stream of Fallen Kingdom, Traitor's Fate. Fallen Kingdom is our upcoming system-agnostic dark fantasy setting. For almost a year now, the once prosperous kingdom of Alidon has languished under the boot of the usurper, the Witch King Modraine. Once a member of the King's Council and trusted advisor to the former king, Modraine manoeuvred his pieces well before he struck. Striking bargains with witches and demons, the usurper installed those who had secret loyalties to him in half of the noble houses of the kingdom. And when the time came, those who did not bow to him vanished or were slain. Fallen Kingdom is a campaign setting for RPGs with a dark yet heroic bent. The heroes seek not only to survive in the Fallen Kingdom under the oppressive rulership of the usurper, but to restore the kingdom to its lost glory. Treachery and power plays are commonplace in the Fallen Kingdom, and several factions have risen against the usurper, from the Kingsworn to the Ravens. But can they put aside their own differences to unite against the usurper Modraine? For our campaign in the Fallen Kingdom, we have chosen to use the Fantasy Age RPG system by our friends over at Green Ronin Games. Check them out at greenronin.com. I'll be your games master tonight. My name is Bryan F. Irving, and I'm from Gethsemane Games and DH9 Radio. Your cast of players today are Jenni Saveall.
Hi, I'm Jenni. I play Sister Celeste, representative of the Faithful and Sword Mage.
Marc Saveall.
Hi, I'm Marc. I'm playing Sister Sandreena, one of the daughters of Atelier, a sect of the Faithful.
Lars Hagman.
Hi, I'm Lars. I'm playing a mage called Balore.
Marie McGowan-Irving.
Hello, I'm Marie, and I'm playing Rowena Shadowend, a swamp witch who's involved with the independent factions.
And Ben Watson.
Hi, I am Ben. I am playing a elf rogue assassin called Edwyrd. I am involved with the People's Freedom Volunteers.
Indeed so. So that is our cast of characters for this evening. Previously on Fallen Kingdom, the 5 rebellious factions seeking to unite against the usurper and his vassals had set up a moot at the Cock and Crow roadside inn. As the factions spoke, the undead minions of Baron Khaled burst in and attacked. Fleeing out of the side door, several survivors from the different factions were hunted through the forest until they finally gave the undead the slip and stumbled upon a mysterious cottage in the woods. Within that cottage, they encountered shadowy, demonic beings that tried to feed upon their dreams and nightmares. Combining their efforts, the unlikely band of heroes escaped the witch house, and we join them now, the next morning, as they continue to make their way through the woods on their way to the cat and mouse. You're in the woods. You've just escaped the witch house. Yeah, you can see in the distance the light from the sun. The sun is still low on the eastern horizon, but is streaming through the woods. We've already had a navigation test from Edwyrd, who's passed. So Edward's worked out from where the sun is, where you can see it, and the shadows, and where the moss is on the inside of the trees. On the sides of the trees. You've managed to work out which direction you believe northeast is in order to continue your journey towards the cat and mouse. Ben, you also generated 6 points of stunts, and just before the technical issue that stalled the previous recording, you were telling me which stunt you were going to use. Go ahead and repeat yourself.
It was That Makes Me Wonder, which is you may immediately make another perception test at no additional cost, time, or resources to discover more information about your surroundings or object test. I would like to find out more information about my surroundings.
Okay, so the information you pick up about your surroundings is that you're in a forest, which you pretty much knew, that there seems to be a lot of large and small wildlife travels through this forest. It's quite a vibrant, living place. But there's something else about this forest. There's something odd about it, as if you hadn't figured that out from the witch house yesterday. But you get a sense that there are other powers at play within this forest that are not entirely natural. You get a sense of the fae existing here, and
I was thinking,
Yep.
because obviously we were being pursued, and
You
we
were,
don't
yes.
know if they might still be coming after us. If we could maybe try and do something to cover our tracks a little bit.
Mhm.
Anything?
Yes, shouldn't be too hard in a forest to cover your tracks a little bit. The trick is to try not to leave too many other obvious signs of your passing. So things like broken branches or scraps of material left on things. That's harder to cover, but you can certainly cover your tracks if you would like to. Pick somebody to do it and get them to give me a.
Can I ask something?
You can, yes.
I've been reading Advantageous Positioning, and
Yes.
I don't entirely understand it. I don't
Okay,
think.
well, let me finish what I was talking about, and then we'll worry about a second. I thought it was going to be something related to what Jenni was saying, so I'll come back and deal with that once I've dealt with what Jenni was asking me. So, pick whoever's going to be doing the covering of your tracks, and
Okay.
I will need a. I'm going to say perception tracking test from them, because you kind of counter tracking.
Does anyone have tracking? Because I know I don't. My perception's not great either.
No. I've got my perception's okay, but my thing's searching.
Right, yeah.
My perception's okay, but my thing's seeing.
Right, okay, so one of you or two, you can use a team of two here. If you use a team of two, then the way that will work is you will both make the roll. The person who has the highest roll, we take their roll, but we take the highest stunt dice, even if that means you're taking the stunt dice from the other player.
Okay.
What about Lars? Your character? Any good at perception?
No, I don't think so. I'm just. I got perception of 2.
Oh well,
Perception
that's
2's
better
pretty
than.
good. Yeah.
That is
Yeah,
good.
I've got perception too as well.
I think you two
Me
should
too.
do it then. Mine's 0.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, 0 is the human average, so any positive number is good. Any negative number is bad. But yeah, if you two would both like to go ahead and give me a perception tracking test. If you don't have tracking, a straight perception will do.
Right.
And we'll see how hard you're going to be to track. Okay, so Rowena's rolled a 12, an 11, and Balore's rolled a 12. So we'll take Balore's number, that's 12. The enemy, if they're still tracking you, and now have to beat 12 to try and find you, because you're countering as much of the tracks as you can. So you're kind of dragging other branches behind you to clear away footprints. You're trying not to leave any obvious broken things. It's difficult though in a forest. It's difficult to counter track in a forest. So you're having to be as cautious as you can. But so far you think you're doing quite well.
That's all we can do.
Yeah. Following Edwyrd's lead, you make your way through the forest, and after a while, let me just read this note. Okay, so it's about midday. You're hot, you're tired, you didn't get a great night's sleep as a consequence of the haunted house, and you are hungry. So you stop for a quick rest. You don't risk a fire, you don't risk cooking anything, you just grab some either trail rations, or you can take some fruit off the trees if you like. There's a few fruit trees in the wood. So
I'll do that.
Okay, so you're taking a few trees, a few fruits. You notice apples and pears are the primary ones around here, but there's a lot of berries as well, bushes with berries on. So it doesn't take you long to have a small meal. If anybody is still injured, this counts as a breather. So you would recover 5 health plus your level plus your constitution.
Okay.
So if anybody's down a bit on their health, you can tot it up that way. So that would be 5 plus your constitution plus your level. Everybody's level 1 at the moment.
Yeah.
Also, give me a perception empathy test, everybody, please.
God.
I just got perception, so...
Just perception will... wait a minute. Yes, just perception will be fine.
I'm so bad.
Okay.
I'm worse.
Okay, so most of you are oblivious, but anybody who's scored 13 or higher, so that would be Edwyrd. You're used to forests, you're a wood elf, so that probably explains it. Edwyrd, you're aware that you're being watched, but you can't see where from. The sensation of being watched, though, is unmistakable.
Could I make the seeing test, if I know that?
Yes, you can give me a seeing test, see if you can spot who's watching you and where from.
Question, would I still be scared?
No, because it's the dawn of the next day, I'm going to say you can lose your fear point.
Still got 15, though.
15?
Yeah.
Okay, oddly enough, looking around, you cannot see anything.
Oh, no, I haven't rolled. No, she's just saying
Oh,
I would have got
sorry.
15 minus the fear.
Yeah,
okay.
sorry.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead and roll.
My roll is actually a 15.
15.
Hold it.
Bit prophetic there on Jenny's part. Okay. So you can't see where you've been spotted from, where you've been watched from. There are a few animals around and they're taking a little bit notice of you, but it doesn't feel like that's who's watching you. The other thing that's quite odd, though, is though you get this strong and growing sense that you're being watched, you don't feel any malice. You feel remarkably calm and
It's a trap.
unconcerned about it all. I wouldn't say unconcerned, but the heckles aren't up on the back of your throat. You don't feel the back of your neck. You don't feel there's a threat. It's a weird sensation, and it is growing stronger.
Well, I'll draw my crossbow and I'll make everyone, I'll tell everyone, like, hey, I think we're being watched, but I can't see where they are.
He warns everybody else that they thinks you're being watched, and you all start to feel a gentle breeze caressing you. You almost think you can hear whispers on the wind. Nearby, several birds settle into the branches of a tree and seem to begin to watch you, their heads now cocked to one side. Forest animals emerge and sit observing you without fear. Nearby, one tree seems to pulse and bulge and expand. You watch in awe as you see a woman, disrobed save for a few strategically draped vines, emerge from the tree itself. Her skin is green, a pale green. Her eyes a deeper hue of the same colour. Her hair itself, also green, seems to flow out behind her, as if the breeze was stronger than it is. Nearby, 2 similar creatures emerge from the earth, rising up from it as if floating through the ground itself. Welcome to the grove, travellers. The nature spirit speaks. The 3 nature spirits speak as one. Their voices seeming to be the wind and the rustling of the leaves. What is your business in our sacred wood?
Oh, we're just passing through. We're trying to get to the cat and mouse.
The cat and mouse?
It's a local inn. We were previously at the Cock and Crow, and then it was attacked by
for humans.
You know, we're just making this sound like we're on some kind of weird pub crawl.
You are on some kind of weird pub crawl. Okay.
We were attacked by the evil usurper, so now we're seeking refuge in what we hope is a safer environment.
Okay, see if you can convince these nymphs that you're telling the truth. I'm going to need some kind of advanced communication test. It can be.
Would me being an elf help in any way?
I will definitely give you a +1 to your roll for being an elf. Yes. So, give me an idea of the sort of thing you're trying to say and how you're trying to say it.
Well, can I use etiquette if I... Okay, good. I'm just pretty much trying to... Well, I don't know if they're aware of the usurpers, like,
You've no
presence
idea.
or anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll just give them a quick run of the kingdom being taken over by this like undead lover, horrible guy. We're a group of very different people banding together to try and stop him. We were attacked by him and we got chased into the forest, and now we're just trying to get out.
Give me an etiquette roll, please. Communication etiquette. Okay,
Yeah.
so that's a good start.
14 if I get
I'm
that
going to
+1.
talk to Toadie. I'm going to say to Toadie,
Mm-hmm.
I thought we'd had some bad mushrooms here, Toadie. But the elves talking to them, so they must be real.
So, as you recount the story of the kingdom having been invaded by this usurper, having been taken over by this usurper, their kind of heads are tilted to one side. You're careful to realise that this wood is essentially their sacred grave, grove rather. So you apologise for your presence here. So you're saying things like, "I apologise for inadvertently intruding upon your sacred grove, but we are fleeing our enemies who have usurped the kingdom in an attempt to oppress those who dwell within. Last night we gathered at an inn to discuss ways to resist, and the enemy attacked and have been chasing us through the forest ever since." So you're giving them that kind of whole spiel in that very, "Look, we're really sorry we're on your ground."
Yeah.
Which currently all three of them are looking at you with their heads cocked slightly to one side, exactly the same way as all the animals and birds that you can currently see are also doing, which is a little bit unsettling for everyone.
Yeah.
But they are still listening. I see. And why precisely did you choose to flee through our grove?
Well, you see, we weren't actually aware it was your grove. It's not to mean any offence or anything, but no map that we own marks this as your grove, and if we knew it was, we would have stayed well away.
Okay, give me another communication etiquette or persuasion test, please. You would do an advanced tests here, so there is a target number you will have to get to convince them.
That would be a 15.
That would be a 15. So they appear to be continuing to listen, but it's like they're trying to weigh up whether or not to believe you or not. Does anybody else want to join in on the attempt to convince these nature spirits?
My communication isn't great, but I can give it a go. I'll say, yeah, obviously, as far as we were aware, this is just a forest. We didn't realise it was ruled over by any particular beings or anything like that, and we felt going through the forest would make it more difficult for our pursuers to catch us, which it seems to have worked.
The forest is not ruled by us. We dwell here. It is sacred to us. You say that you have brought danger, which follows you, to our grove. Before you answer that, you can give me a communication etiquette roll for what you've said so far.
It's gonna be good.
Okay, that's not too bad. Yeah, so you tell us that you have brought danger to our grove, that something hostile follows you.
Well, we think we've lost it now, and we didn't realise this place was a dwelling of beings such as yourselves. Otherwise, we wouldn't have come through here.
I see. Go ahead and make another. Give us a persuasion roll this time. Communication persuasion. Okay.
Ooh. Oh, actually.
Yeah, that's not too bad at all. So between you and Edwyrd, you seem to have convinced these three nymphs that that your intentions here are non-hostile. Then, as you are hiding from an enemy that seems, from what you tell us, should be the enemy of us all, then pray, rest a while, take some fruit to eat, drink some water if you will. And as she kind of points to one of the other nymphs, the sort of pale blue one. The pale blue one clicks her fingers, and you see a spring bubbles up right in front of you, of pure, clean spring water. Rest a while if you wish.
I'll thank them profusely. I'll maybe take a bit of the water.
Okay.
I'm just imagining someone going like, "Oh, we can have some food, thanks," and then they just like shoot one of the deers.
Oh my god.
That would be a really bad idea at this point. Yeah. Okay, is anybody still injured?
Nope.
No, unless
Okay.
might want to check if Sandreena is still okay.
Okay, well, if nobody's injured, the water has the effect of just refreshing you somewhat.
Okay.
It cools you down a bit. It's quite a warm morning. It's spring in the kingdom, so it's early. Well, sorry, it's mid-spring, so it gets quite warm here at this time of year.
I'm going to splash the toad with it.
Oh,
You splash the toad with it, and the toad ribbits back, and this elicits a bit of a chuckle from the three nymphs who are kind of watching. At this point, they're kind of moving through the party as you're resting. As they move past you, they kind of brush hands over shoulders and stuff like that. They don't seem to have much of a concept of personal space.
right.
Are we allowed to take some of the water with us?
You may indeed take some of the water with you. Water is for all life.
Very
Please
kind.
fill your canteens, your water vessels as you will.
I'll say I think
Oh yeah.
we should probably explain to you that you do need to be wary of the enemies that we've been running from, because they certainly will try to do you harm at some point. And I'll say that they seem to predominantly be undead beings.
Abominations.
Yes, as you mentioned, undead, you can see all three nymphs turn red.
Oh.
Whereas before there was one that was this kind of earthen brown colour, one that was a sort of bluey green colour, and the one that came out of the tree was green. They all turn red, flushed with anger for just a moment when you mention undead. Indeed, abominations. Should we encounter them in our forest, we will see that they do no harm, at least not to the animals, and we will do what we can to turn them away from your path, to turn them around and confuse them into travelling the wrong direction. We thank you for your warning, and in response we would like to warn you of something.
Okay.
A vision came to us last night. It showed the forest's awful plight, the trees and plants warped by the one who took the mantle, put it on. At first we saw raised up in might, a chance perhaps if it unite, but all alone each finger fails, till all the land cries out and wails. Find the one that laid the bait, and visit on them the traitor's fate. Only then can five be one, and in their strength the vision be undone.
Ooh,
Be one.
cryptic.
Interesting.
Just going to grab that for you and put that in the chat. Thinking that it's important, you make a quick note. Somebody will have a bit of paper, so you make a quick note of that and just do your handout then. So that is the nymph's vision. The nymph's vision. Oh, look at that. I managed to misspell both nymph and vision. Well done, me.
You've been practicing again.
I have, yes. Vision, nymphs, Saveall, shorter players. There you go. That should have appeared in your... excellent. So I'll just read it out again, because as you can tell, it's a bit of a plot point. A vision came to us at night. It showed the forest's awful plight. The trees and plants warped by the one who took the mantle, put it on. At first we saw, raised up in might, a chance, perhaps, if it unite. But all alone each finger falls, till all the land... But all alone each finger fails, till all the land cries out and wails. Find the one that laid the bait, and visit on them the traitor's fate. Only then can 5 be won, and in their strength the vision be undone.
Okay. Can I ask them to elaborate perhaps on some parts of this? I want to ask what
I would
Sorry,
think
what?
they just have the visions. They
Yeah.
don't really interpret the visions.
Yeah, I mean, they might have an idea of some parts, I don't know.
They don't appear to really have anything more to tell you. Because of the mythic nature of the vision, the nymphs simply don't have the language to express any more clearly what came to them, because their minds work very differently to yours. That's the only way they can give voice to the vision.
It's a mantle.
A mantle.
A cloak.
Well, it's a kind of a headpiece or a...
a crown. Okay.
It could indeed be a crown, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. It's the fact only then can 5 be won.
Five
now is it talking about fingers, so it's like a fist sort of thing, but what?
Find the one that laid the bait. Ooh.
Marie, I think you were going to come in there when we were talking about 5 and 1.
How many factions are there?
5.
5
Right.
factions. We need
Right,
to reunite.
yeah.
We need to unite the factions because each alone will fail.
Yeah.
But it says find the one that laid the bait. So does that mean one of the factions betrayed them and visit them on the traitor's fate? I don't know.
Could be.
So
Could be. I mean, we were discovered at that tavern. Somebody leaked the location.
So someone in one of the clans betrayed us.
Not
We gotta find out
necessarily.
who it
It could
is.
have been. It could have been the innkeeper. You know,
could have been
Could have been the innkeeper.
It could have
We
been
gotta
anyone.
find them, potentially kill them, and then we can unite.
Well, we need to find out more information first, don't we? So just go and kill the innkeeper.
You right.
Okay.
If we haven't got any more questions to ask them, and if we're planning on leaving, do they have any idea where the cat and mouse might be?
They
Well,
don't...
if you explained it to them in terms of we want to go northeast, yeah. If you
Yeah.
explained it in terms of where the sun rises and the sun sets, they might.
Yeah.
Give me a communication performance test to see if you can get across what it is you're trying to ask them.
Dance. Oh, no.
So 9. Okay, so
Excuse me, sorry.
they're a little bit confused about exactly what it is you're asking, but as best they can put together, you seem to be asking for some kind of human structure thing that's in the direction the sun rises, but at the same time towards the sea. They're not entirely sure exactly what you mean, but they kind of point to what you take to be the east.
Oh, okay. No, thank you.
Travel then beyond the trees, you will see a thing upon the ground made by the passage of many of their kind, which points to the other humans
The road.
A road.
and
Real.
their animals.
Okay. All right then.
Thank you very much.
You are welcome.
Yeah, I'll thank them again as well.
Just for the fun of it, if any of us have heard of nymphs, is
Yes.
there any like custom we can do so they like, I don't know, is there any like special goodbye or any offerings or anything that you can leave?
Okay, give me either an arcane law or a...
Oh, Jesus.
yeah, so it's going to be intelligence arcane law or intelligence cultural law. Either of those.
Does anyone have either of those?
Yep.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Okay, so Balore's aware that nymphs are nature spirits, so they are accustomed to things coming and going without necessarily making sort of announcements. You're also aware that the thing about nymphs is if they like you, they'll be quite helpful and friendly. And by friendly, I mean that can go quite a bit further. If they dislike you, they're probably just going to kill you and return your body to compost. Since they haven't actually killed you yet, you think they like you.
That's good.
Phew. Okay, good.
But yeah, you're also aware that they don't think quite the same way as the mortal races do. They're probably a little bit closer to the mindset of elves than the other races, because elves are also connected to nature and are connected to the Fae as well.
Okay.
But they don't have any interest in material possessions.
They don't have any interest in material possessions at all. Sensation, conversation, when they seek it out or when they're interested. And that's about it, really.
Fair enough.
Okay.
Well done.
So they enjoy like new sensations. So eating something they've never eaten, talking to somebody they've never talked to, that type of thing. They enjoy sort of new.
They've never ate.
And
Isolationist.
Sorry, say that again, Lars.
They're a bit of an isolationist people.
Not necessarily. Well, yes and no. I mean, not necessarily. They wouldn't think of it as that way. But they are more by accident and design, if you know what I mean. So they don't think of themselves as deliberately isolating from other races, but nonetheless they do actually do it. But more because they don't, especially with humans and whatnot, they don't quite understand how you fit into the natural order, because humans have kind of moved so far away from the natural order. They build things, they wear clothes, they have social structures that the nymphs don't really understand, and so it's more a case of they kind of avoid you because they're not sure about you.
Right, yeah. Plus, we're kind of destructive.
Plus, you're kind of destructive, yeah. So quite often that'll bring you into conflict with them. If you're in killing animals, cutting down trees, that can bring you into conflict with them, especially if it's kind of sacred groves or areas that they exist in.
It's a good job we didn't set fire to the forest.
It is a very good job you didn't set fire to the forest when you talked about it. Yeah, it is.
Because we nearly did.
You very nearly did at one point. That was one of your escape plans last week, as I recall. Things might very well not have gone well had you tried that.
Okay, so does anyone have any more questions for these things?
No.
No.
Well, I guess we go.
before they start hating us.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so sorry, go ahead.
I was just simply going to say they said go east, let's go east.
Okay. You trek off east for the rest of the day, and eventually you emerge from the forest. It begins to thin for a while, and then you come out of the forest completely onto grasslands. You're looking out across the valley. Far to the east, you can see the hills leading off into the distance, and the road is just in front of you. There's a long road north and south. Peering up from where you are, you can see the cat and mouse up ahead. Maybe, well, a few more miles. You reckon you'll be there before dusk anyway?
That's good.
We should probably scout it because, I mean, if they're hunting for us, the first thing they're going to do is stake out all the inns in the area, so we might want to take some care.
Yep. I think, and maybe not walk directly on the road, maybe off to the side or something.
Now, you see, they wouldn't suspect that because it's too obvious. So that's exactly what we do.
Okay, so you travel north as cautiously as you can, looking out for anything that you think might be out of the ordinary. Eventually, you make it to the cat and mouse. Give me a perception seeing test, please.
Okay.
Since you specifically said you were watching out for anything.
Oh my god.
Worry about. There's some nice low rolls coming up here. Oh, right, okay, Rowena's spotted just about everything there is to spot. And 5 points of stunts. If you'd like to use any of the exploration stunts, you can do.
Okay, I'm just going to have a look. Hold on.
Everything.
Just going to pop that section on the cat and mouse out into my other screen, so it's not blocking the vision of the viewers.
Right.
Honestly, Marie, the best one seems to be That Makes Me Wonder.
I'm actually looking at the upper hand.
It has been a little while since we've had a fight, that's true.
Yeah, and it's pretty good.
It's not that long since you had a fight. The previous session, there was a bit of a scuffle in that with the shadow creatures from the witch house.
And there will be every single night going forward, won't there?
There is a strong possibility that they might continue to visit nightmares upon you, certainly.
Oh, yeah, you've got a sleep demon.
Yes, I do.
Don't worry.
They're gonna leave my head alone. They'll be like, please, like your head makes me sad.
Okay, I'm going to take, because I've got 5 points of stunts, I'm going to take Advantageous Positioning.
Right.
You make your discovery from an advantageous position of your choice up to 2 yards away from the place that would normally lead to your discovery with respect to the object of your test. You may wait until the GM describes what you've found, if relevant, before you choose your position.
Okay.
The stunt can be used multiple times on the same test if you have enough stunt points.
Okay.
I'm just going to take it the once. And then I'm going to use the other 4 points for the upper hand.
Right. Yeah.
If your discoveries lead to combat within a moment or two, you receive a +3 bonus on your initiative roll, 4 resources at hand.
Nice.
Oh no, that's a separate thing.
Yes, the resources at hand. Yeah, 4 points. Yeah.
So
okay.
I'll get the +3 bonus to my initiative of it.
You will, yes.
Just
So,
fighting.
what you have discovered is, as you're approaching the inn, you're almost expecting to be ambushed by Baron Khalid's undead at any moment, but you're simply not seeing anything at all. On the road far to the south, you can see there is a small caravan just disappearing into the distance, just about to go over the horizon. But you're not seeing anything heading in your direction. You're not seeing any ambush. As you draw closer to the cat and mouse, you can see not only is there smoke rising from the cat and mouse's chimney, you also notice that in the pen where they keep the horses next to the barn, there's quite a lot of horses. And in the larger sort of enclosure, there's a large number of wagons, carts, and vardos. So it looks like it's a busy night. It looks like there's either one large caravan or a group of smaller caravans are at the inn.
Hopefully, it's a good crowd.
Hopefully.
Hopefully, one of those horses is mine, and I can get it back.
Sadly, you left that at the Star and Shadow, which is in the opposite direction, isn't it?
It might have ran away, and somebody got it, and then
It might. It's possible. It might. Or the Baron's men might have captured it.
no,
Or they
don't
might have
say
just ignored it altogether and just left it there to starve.
great.
I don't think anybody would leave the horse to starve. It's too valuable a resource.
Yeah, for the
The
most
inn would-
part. Yeah.
The inn would be like, ooh, ponies.
I remember
maybe-
the inn staff fled into the night when you did.
Maybe
they'll
they
go
need it
back.
Starve and then reanimate it.
Possibly.
You'll have an undead horse. That'll be cool.
Yeah, I
Well,
don't
Baron
think I'm
Khaled
getting-
already rides a nightmare.
Of course he does.
Of course he does.
Which I'm guessing is an undead horse, is it?
It's a kind of demonic horse, yeah.
Oh, even better. That's cool.
Nightmare. Yeah.
As you draw closer, you notice that from the outside, the cat and mouse is somewhat reminiscent of the Cock and Crow, a medium-sized roadside tavern of half-timber construction with a grey slate roof. To its northern side is a large paddock in which are several horses. The paddock backs onto a large stable block. Nearby you see a motley collection of covered wagons, carts and vardos. Smoke drifts up from the inn's chimney, and the sound of revelry can be heard as you draw closer. What are you doing?
Stealth mode.
Stealth mode? Okay.
Yeah.
You're creeping up on the inn then, are you? That's the plan?
Rather than traditional stealth mode, it's kind of incognito, trying not to draw attention to myself.
Okay, yeah. So you kind of pull your the cowl of your cloak up a bit to cover your elven features, to hide your pointed ears, and you pull it forward a little bit to conceal your eyes and the shape of your face. You try and mimic the walk of the other humans, which is less graceful than your own. You're kind of overdoing it at the moment. It's a little bit on the clunky side, so it's taking you a little bit of time to practice. Give me a dexterity.
Would it be performance?
Actually, yes. Why not?
I
Give
only
me a-
have dexterity to be
Well, performance is communication, isn't it? So give me just a straight dexterity if that's all you've got.
fair. Just, I am a human. Do not notice me.
So it's average difficulty, so it's 11 is your target number.
Oh, I'll pass that.
17. It takes you a little while to get used to it because you're trying to play down how graceful you are and you're completely overdoing it, so you're lumbering around. And the others are going like, no, honestly, that's not right. Eventually you get the balance about right and you think, yeah, now I look roughly human. A little bit on the willowy build side, but then, some humans are. So you're fairly confident. What's everybody doing now as he's finishing practice and pretending to be human?
Letting him get sort of, so he can see if it's just merchants or if there's any military in there.
Okay. So if you'd like to get a bit closer and do a bit of a scouty scout, why not? Give me a perception seeing test, please. Just the people who are getting closer. And if
Well,
you're
I'm
going to... Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, sorry, I was just saying I'm going to hang back a bit. I'll
Yeah.
put my own hood up as well because I'm a bit paranoid at this
Yeah.
point.
Yeah, no problem. So Edwyrd gets as close as you can. That's 3 points of exploration stunts you've scored there. You peer around, you have a look at what you can see. None of the horses look like war horses. They look like wagon teams for the most part. However, some of the wagons do look quite sturdy, and have shields hung on them and whatnot. You don't think this looks like military at all. You think there's at least one of the wagons has guards escorting it who appear to be in the inn. You do see one or two of the guards still moving around the wagons to keep, strangers away. But you would say that this is an armed caravan, or at least if it's more than one caravan, at least one of the caravans is armed. But it doesn't look like military as such. Do you want to try and get a bit closer to peer through the windows, or are you just looking...
That's what I was going to use Advantageous Position for.
Perfect, okay. So what I'll do then is I'll move you over onto the cat and mouse map. I don't know if anybody's accidentally appeared in... No, they haven't. Good, so that API script hasn't overdone things. I'm going to drag Edwyrd out onto... So most of you will be seeing a black square now.
Yeah.
Edwyrd, you are currently... Well, I've put you around the back, actually. You would probably be around the front, so let me just move you around the front. There you go. You should be near the top left corner of the map.
Oh.
And you should be able to see from there.
I can't see, no.
You can't. This token does not have vision enabled. That would be why then. Right, let me fix that.
I'm not reading them, but I have noticed that if I hover in certain places, description boxes pop up, which is really cool, by the way.
They do, yes. You can read them. That's what they're for. Also, there are two things being used on this map. The first is if you hover over the tokens, you will get a description will pop up. The second is if you click on your token, you should see a number of macro buttons, at least one of which will read talk to.
Oh.
If you're inside a room with somebody, you can click that and then click who you want to talk to, and it'll whisper to you what they tell you.
That's really cool.
Isn't it?
That is pretty cool.
So it will mean that only the player that speaks to them will be able to read what they say in the chat box. But don't use that talk feature if you're standing outside, because that would mean you were yelling through the...
Oi!
But you can do the hover over them and read the text that comes up if you would like to. Okay, so from where you're looking now, you're peering through a window, you see... I'll give you the description of what's inside. I'll cut out the bits you haven't seen yet. So inside the tap room, groups of various sizes occupy more than half of the visible tables. You can't see that one. So at one table sit... Oh no, you can't see that one either. Okay, so you see a large group that stretches itself along two tables. They seem to be a combination of merchants, teamsters and caravan guards. Probably all from the same caravan and most probably belonging to the collection of wagons outside. Nearby, a group of tough-looking travellers laugh heartily at one another's jokes, which you can give as a listen roll since you're an elf. See if you can hear it. You can hear the laughter, but see if you can hear any more details.
Looking through the window and everything, it looks like these people aren't experienced. Like one of the guards, it read that he had barely broken into armor.
That's right, yeah.
Okay.
No, I'm not hearing that.
You're not hearing it. Okay, so you can hear when the travellers start laughing, but you can't hear much else, just kind of a general murmur from inside the inn. Elsewhere, you see... let me just see what else you can see. What appears at first to be a young couple sitting at a table together. That would be this couple here. Although one is a human male, you estimate to be about in their Well, you would say about 120, because you've forgotten that humans don't live as long as elves. So in human years, he's probably only actually about 22.
Right.
But next to him, the person you initially took to be his partner is a dwarf woman. And as you watch, you can see the playing a hand of cards. Give me a perception seeing test.
Oh, one of them is cheating, aren't they? Oh, I see all.
Okay, you notice that. Let me just see if I can find the description. Near the bar, a cowled man stands. He's hunched over a drink. His stance is calculated to make him seem smaller and non-threatening, but his hand never strays far from his dagger, and his eyes glance around the room from time to time. There's something familiar about his silhouette. You also see at this table, you can see occasionally like a man leans forward, so you can see there is a man there that's just kind of out of sight, who's in red. But you see two people, one man, one woman, dressed in expensive green clothes. The man has a feathered cap, which, although it shows it on his token, it's actually over the chair, the back of the chair. He's hung it on that because he's indoors. But their clothes look extremely rich, expensive. There's something of the noble bearing about them both. And you can, there's a section of the inn you can't see into from where you are. Everybody else, while he's reconnoitering, what are the rest of you doing?
Well, I was going to have a little bit of a closer look at the horses and the wagon and whatnot, just to see if you can glean anything off them, see if there's any kind of insignia or.
Okay. So when you say closer, do you mean you're getting like down into the inn's grounds, or do you just mean like looking at them from a distance? Or
I'll get a bit closer, so I'm not going to get as close as Edwyrd is,
right?
But a little further back than him. Not
Okay.
too much.
Give me a perception seeing test then, please, and I'll adjust your target number appropriately.
Okay.
7. From here, you can't really make out much. You're too busy worrying about the occasional armed guard that's moving around between the wagons. The only thing you really notice is you don't think all these wagons are from the same caravan. You've got large covered wagons that all seem to be, but you've also got a Vardor which seems to be separate as far as you can tell. What gives you that impression is it doesn't kind of tie in stylistically to the rest of the caravan, and it is parked at an entirely different angle. They're all like lined up, side on to one another, in this sense kind of squeezed in at an angle, slightly offset. You also see a small cart as well, which wouldn't carry much more than a couple of people, although there's actually a couple of crates and a barrel in the back of it.
Okay. All right, so nothing too concerning or anything.
No.
All right. Okay.
But the armed guards seem to concentrate on the group of covered wagons.
Well, I mean that makes sense in with the way things are. You would have guards and everything. So.
Absolutely. Yeah. Any of the rest of you want to do anything whilst Edwyrd's away, or are you just waiting for him to report back?
I'm waiting for him to report back.
Right, boys.
Right. Okay, so you guys wait for your elven scout to report back what he's seen. So I'll cut back over to you then, Ben. What's Edwyrd doing next?
I'm really thinking hard about that guy who you said was looking around.
Yes.
I'm trying to decide whether he's looking for someone, like specific, like he's trying to kill someone or whatever, or if he's just like skitsy.
Right, yeah, it's more that. It doesn't look like he's looking for anybody specifically. It looks like he's sort of keeping an eye out for danger. Also, he's kind of, I've got him pointed at the bar, but he's actually looking away from the bar with these.
Lang, is that the guy? Yeah. He doesn't have a description.
You should have. Just give me a second. It might be that I haven't set it to show. So let me just.
Can I just say I
flick
found this funny? There's a typo on one of the barmaids. I
Right.
think it's meant to say busy barmaid, but it says bussy.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And I was just like, damn, what does the like breast size have to do with this?
That would be busty, so it would still be misspelled. You're
Oh.
right, actually. There is no text in his tooltip. However, since you are concentrating on him, give me a perception seeing test. He is slightly cowled, so he's not as obvious.
I've seen him.
But you've seen him. It's Lanken.
It is Lankan.
Ah,
Yeah. It's Lanken, the leader of the Ravens that you lost track of during the flight through the woods last night.
That slippery bastard got out.
Sorry, say that again?
So,
Sorry, let me rephrase. Jenny, could you say that again? I didn't catch
oh,
it.
sorry, I thought you meant Ben.
No.
No, I was just saying this is where we just barge right in and shout his name out.
no! We might.
I know, exactly. We're not gonna do that, but it'd be funny.
Okay. I'll go back to the others. I'll say it looks like it's mainly a bunch of nobles and very wealthy merchants. But that bastard Lanken's there. He looks very suspicious. Like he's on the lookout for something. Probably the skeletons, to be fair.
Well, yeah, you'll probably be as paranoid as we are at the moment. Maybe we should try and speak to him.
Is he on his own?
Yeah,
He was
he's
on
just
his
sat
own,
at the
yes.
bar by himself.
Right, so I can only assume that his companions from oh god, let me get the name. From the Cotton Crow are either dead or scattered.
You would assume so. Now, you weren't actually there to see it, but the only party member that knows at the moment is Edwyrd, because you were heading for the same door that they went out of first. His two companions were both shot and killed as they went out the back way of the Cock and Crow.
Yeah, I'll just say that. They're
So
dead. I watched it happen.
Yeah, they never made it out. Well, they made it about 3 paces out. I think one of them got 4 paces before he was shot dead. Whereas Lanken escaped with you guys. He went out the side entrance later and then he got lost in the woods. The other people that escaped with you were the inn staff and the other 2 members of the Arcane Guardians. The Guardians of Arcane Law. Yeah. Fester and... I just forget who the other one was. Let me just have a look. Let me just go and have a look at the Cock and Crow, because it's going to bother me if I can't remember his name, especially as it's kind of important. So, yeah, the 2 majors that disappeared during the night as you got separated as you were running were Fester, who was leading the Guardians of Arcane Law, and
Gomez.
It wasn't Gomez. Wickham was the only other one.
I've got a
Sorry,
question.
you like a big Fester. Family, sorry.
That's okay. Sorry, what was your question?
I have a question. So we got that little cryptic riddle from the nymphs, didn't we?
From the nymphs, yes.
Was there anyone at the meeting that left early?
You can't remember anyone leaving early, no. I'll tell you what, you guys have a quick discussion amongst yourselves about what you're going to do next. I'm going to quickly visit the bathroom. I'm leaving your mics open to the recording, though, so don't say anything you don't want on the recording. I'll be back in about a minute, and you can be plotting what you're going to do next.
I think.
Well,
I think at least one of us. I mean, I know him, so I think at least one of us should go in and speak. See if we can speak to him.
yeah, I agree.
Yep. Definitely.
Maybe not all of us crowding in.
No.
Surround them.
You know, it would be a bit conspicuous, but yeah, anyone who's probably you two. I would say Rowena and Edwyrd might be a better choice to go and talk to him. Just, I will probably stay outside.
I mean, I think to be honest, at this point, we do need to, we do need the Ravens. We need the faction, because for all that, we are honourable. We are not going to fight alongside them. These are fighters, and we need fighters. So
we also need to know anything that he knows currently. He went. I mean, didn't go in the same direction as us, but got separated. I mean, he must have done because he's
Yeah.
Okay.
I've just thought of something. I'll wait for Bryan to get back. But
Right.
I did think of something. It's about the nymphs again, though. So.
Okay.
No, but I think definitely we should go in there and confront him in some way.
Well, maybe just sort of.
No, go in and speak to him, because why are we confronting him? He ran for his life the way we did.
I get confront was the wrong word. Yeah, we should go talk to him and just, oh, you're alive. That's good.
Yeah.
Do you want to travel with us?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Safety in numbers.
Shall we enter the inn as a group or stagger it and go in one by one?
It would be less suspicious if we went in one by one.
Yeah. And somebody can stay outside at least. Maybe Sandreena, seeing as Marc's not here.
Yeah.
Just to keep
an eye out for
anything a bit weird happening. Yeah. Well, maybe Rowena and Edwyrd could go in together and then just reveal your faces, like knows who you are, and then the rest of us can filter in.
Well, I should probably take this frog out of my hair and put it in my pocket.
It's so cute.
Okay, yes, you can put your frog. You probably carry a sort of shoulder sack with various bits and pieces in it. You probably keep the frog in that, I should imagine. So, what's the plan?
Edwyrd and Rowena are going to go in and see if we can speak to Lion Ken.
Okay, so let me
to invite him to travel with us, because we're supposed to be united people. So
I actually had another thought as well. Is everyone else done talking before I sprout my nonsense?
No.
These guards that's at the inn, are they military or are they just cell swords?
They look like cell swords, thingy guards. I've just realised that did the same thing as last time. It brought the wrong copy of your caravan guards.
Blind.
Yes, that's because it had given me the wrong one of your what's names again. So I'm just going over to grab it from the. Instead of giving us the token, it has given us the what's the other thing called?
Hog.
Yeah.
Top down, whichever. Yeah.
Yeah, it hadn't given.
My thought before, Bryan.
Yeah, go ahead. Yes.
Now I'm not looking for an answer, but my theory is the sellout was one of the king's guards.
Okay.
Because it seems all very high and noble to go out charging after the big bad baron, right? We'll hold them back. When everyone else escapes, I think that that guard captain, I think she was the imposter.
Right.
She was sus.
Well, you can start making notes for yourselves on who you think is the.
I think she charged out. She got her companions killed, and then she got captured.
Okay.
Whilst Rowena and Edwyrd go in, I think me and Balore were going to wait a few minutes before we go in, and we're going to leave Sandreena outside just to keep watch for anything dodgy going on.
Yeah.
There you go.
If that works.
Yeah, if you guys are happy with that, that's fine by me. Okay, so I'm just going to check that Rowena can also see.
Hold on.
Vision token on. Yeah, so
Sorry,
you
miss.
should be able to. Top left of the. Wait a minute, have I dragged everybody
Bear
else
with me a
over? Yeah.
tick. Yeah. I'm just getting rid of all the stuff all the pop-ups in front.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't bothering to put them down because, I couldn't see anything.
Yes. Okay, so you guys are approaching the end. I've put you in approaching from the north. You should technically be approaching from the south, but it's easier to find. The top left
door.
corner. So there you go. What you're gonna do, guys? You should have
there's the
control
door.
of your pogs. Yeah.
Well, I'm actually going to drop stealth mode.
Okay.
Just seeing as everyone just seems like they're having a good time and no one's looking suspicious, aside from the other guy, obviously.
Lanken. Yeah.
Lanken, yes. I'll make my way to the door.
Okay, so make your way to the door. One of those buttons should also be open, close. So move up to the door and click open, and that should open it for you.
Open, close. Chunk. Oh, yeah.
And then you should be able to move through.
Right, so I'm going where he goes.
Okay, don't you? You just
Where'd
want
they go?
straight down the road and then turn where you see the muddy path go into the inn. So down
Oh,
here.
yes, I see it.
Okay, so as you step into the inn, you become aware of an entire table of people you hadn't seen earlier, hadn't seen through the windows. That would be these guys here. So let me just give you a description of them.
This is going to start with military uniforms, isn't it?
Yeah. Controllers, young couple. That's it. Right, must be right at the start. The door opens onto a busy tap room. Groups of various sizes occupy more than half of the tables. Nearest the door, a table of disreputable-looking men sit and drink. Their armour and weapons suggest they are no strangers to a fight, but they seem, for the moment, engrossed in their ale. That's this lot. And you now see the third man at this table with the two, what you took to be nobles. You couldn't see the third man properly before. Edwyrd just occasionally saw his arm as he leaned over. So I'll give you a description of him now. In fact, I'll give you a description of that whole table. Now you're closer to seeing them more clearly. A man and a woman of noble demeanour and dressed in expensive clothes sit with a rough-looking man in oft-repaired clothing. So that's what you see on that second circular table.
Okay. Let's go to the bar, I guess.
Okay. You go to the bar. As you do, Lanken kind of turns to face the barman.
Because he doesn't know who you are.
One water, please.
Oh, well, he'll know now. What
Oh,
should
no,
we...
wrong character. Wrong character, sorry.
Oh, yes, it is.
Whatever elves drink.
Wine, I would imagine, would be your most common.
Hell yes, the wine.
Yeah.
One
So,
glass
well,
of the red.
Yours certainly does in the other campaign. So, what's Rowena doing?
I'll have ale,
Okay.
small beer.
So you head over to small beer. You see, as you go over to the bar and you order one wine, one small beer. So the wine's going to cost you, would that be a glass, sir, or would that be a whole bottle?
Oh, just a glass.
One glass of the house red coming up. Glug, 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 glug. There you go, sir. That will be 5 silver pieces, please.
That's all my money.
It does strike you as remarkably expensive.
It's half the cost of a horse.
5 silver.
Holy shit.
It does strike you as very expensive. You hear
Did I
Lanken
say
leans
wine?
over.
I did actually mean water. Sorry,
No.
earwax.
You see Lanken lean over and he says, I think the elf meant the normal prices, don't you? You see the barman looks a bit sheepish and goes, sorry, did I say 5 silver? I meant 1.
That's much more acceptable, thank you.
Expensive though, jeez.
Yeah. It is still quite expensive, a silver piece for a wine. When Rowena asks for a small beer, you're charged 2 copper pieces.
That's more
Wow.
Jesus.
Ken kind of looks round, makes sure nobody else is watching, and leans back on the bar with his elbows on the bar itself, one hand on his drink, the other hand on his knife. And he kind of out of the corner of his mouth whispers, "The fuck are you doing here?"
Same
I
thing as
asked
you
the
are.
same
Try not to get
question.
stabbed.
Well, I'm here because I'm trying to get away from Balin Khalid's boys.
Oh, and we're here to catch you. Obviously, we're trying to get away too.
Uh-huh. I see.
Yeah.
I suppose that makes sense. Anybody else make it?
Yeah,
One of the
actually.
one of the mages, the two faithful.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Tell
At
me
least
at
one of
least
them
the
can
Kingsworn
fight.
didn't get out.
The Kingsworn didn't get out.
I mean, that is a dreadful shame. Barman, another ale for me, please. Seems like I have some celebrating to get through.
I want to
Thing
see.
is, Lion King. This is going to sound like I've been at the mushrooms. We met some dryads in the wood and he gave us a prophecy.
Right.
You're not laughing.
No.
Thought you'd laugh.
Now, why ever would I laugh? I don't find dryads something to laugh at.
He gave us a prophecy.
Okay.
Let me see if I can remember it. A vision came to us at night. It showed the forest's awful plight. The trees and plants were by the one who took the mantle, put it on. A fifth we saw, raised up in might, a chance perhaps, if it unite. But all alone, each finger fails, till all the land cries out and wails. Find the one that laid the bait, and visit on them the traitor's fate. Only then can 5 be won, and in their strength the vision be undone.
Well. It seems that your dryads have seen what I already suspected.
Yeah.
Baron Khalid wasn't there by accident. Somebody told him we were going to be there.
Zael thinks it was the Kingsworn.
Who organised the meeting? Whose idea was this?
I don't
To
know.
get all the clans together?
Keep your voice down.
I don't actually know the answer to that.
I suspect they laid the trap.
Could be. You think if we find out who set the meeting up, we'll find out who led the trap?
It is in the prophecy.
Well,
Vision.
I don't think the prophecy mentioned that it was the same person, but it certainly tells us that we were betrayed, as if we hadn't already figured that out.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the question, though. How do I know it wasn't one of you? I mean, you two are
How do we
still
know it wasn't
alive.
one of you?
Well, you don't. Well,
Mate,
you know it
I
wasn't
live in
the other
us.
two, but you don't know it wasn't me. But here's a point. You see, I'm no loyalist to the old king. I think I made that clear in the moot. It doesn't bother me whether he's alive or dead, or whether he comes back or he doesn't. I'd rather he didn't come back, except for the fact that what we've got on the throne right now is worse. Thing is about the old king, see, he'd have hung a man like me fast as he could, if they ever managed to catch me, which they never did. He'd have been quite happy to see me swing. I'm quite happy for him to have met whatever dastardly fate he did meet. But Modrain's worse. See, with the old king, all people like me had to worry about was being hung if we got caught. That kind of comes with the territory. But Modrain's a different kettle of bananas. See, with him, you don't have to worry about him hanging you. What you need to worry about is what happens next. Because Modrain just doesn't kill a person. It's what he does to your soul that you need to worry about. So, did I sell you all out? No. Because I wouldn't trust Modrain as far as I could comfortably spit him. I certainly wouldn't trust Baron Khalid. I mean, Just think about the caliber of people that Modraine has as his vassals. Baron Khaled's a Death Knight, a Charnel Knight, he's undead. There's something very, very wrong with this new usurper. So do I want to see the old king restored? Not particularly, but I want to see Modraine and all his vassals gone. And if that means I've got to deal with the likes of you and I suppose even the Kingsworn, well, it's better than leaving that monster on the throne. Now make no mistake, I'm a bad man. I'm a professional thief and I've done terrible things. But compared to Modraine, I'm like those fancy true faithers that were at the meeting. So whether we like it or not, we have a common enemy. That is assuming that it wasn't one of you that sold us out. So, now I've said my part, why don't I listen to yours?
Well,
Should we be entering roundabout now?
I think now's as good a time as any, so I will drag you over. I will, hopefully, it should be okay to just drag you from your character sheet. It only seems to be Edwyrd that's not giving me the right one, so let me just... so Balore, just pop you in there, yep, and...
have my hood up, just because.
Celeste. There you go. So you guys should be able to see now. Let me know if you can't.
Yep, I can see the map.
Brilliant.
Very
So you can
cool.
move yourselves around on there. If you hover over any of the other tokens, it'll tell you a little bit about that person, how they look, what they're currently doing. There's one or two other sneaky little Easter eggs in here somewhere as well. And if you want to actually talk to anybody, you'll notice when you click on your character, one of the buttons across the top will come up and it'll say talk to. Click that and click on the person you want to talk to. Most of them will have something to say.
Okay.
And also, of course, if there's anybody you want to interrogate a little bit more deeply than that, just let me know and we'll RP through that.
Okay. I'm going to say to Lion Ken. When I was a girl, they found that things that died round me talked to me after they were dead. And sometimes
He bristles
my
a bit.
enemies had bad luck and I had good luck. And
Bristles a bit more.
and so in order to be away from people who whispered and people who pointed, or worse yet, the people who came and asked me to speak to dead things, I went and lived in a swamp. And I lived there and nobody, well, hardly anybody, apart from people who wanted to pay me to speak to the dead, bothered me. I just lived in that little shack in the swamp with my pets. But you see, Baron Khaled, he's got death magic. And he doesn't want anyone else. Did you see me turn them?
I did.
Do you think that man will leave me? Do you think that thing will leave me alive?
Well, here's the thing. What I saw was those undead came in and they were stabbing people and dragging others out screaming. But when they approached you, they did what you told them. Now, you can say that's your magic all you like, but from where I was standing, that looked very much like you had as much control over them as Baron Khaled did. That puts you pretty high up on my list of likely suspects for the traitor.
Well, I've just spoke for you as well, Lion Ken.
Well, there is that, but let's not let that cloud the issue, because wouldn't the traitor be trying to ingratiate himself with as many of us as possible?
Did you see me try to ingratiate myself with anyone?
I'll
give you that one. And I'll be honest, if anything's going to convince me that you're not the traitor, it's that more than anything else you've said so far.
Yeah.
I want to sit down next to Lanken.
Oh God, I see one of the faithful have arrived.
Nice to see you again too.
Yeah, lovely to see you. It's
Told
always
you they'd
nice to
come.
see your pretty face, and when that's not possible, yours will have to do.
Oh, I'm charming. Are you jealous I've got more scars than you?
No, I tend not to collect scars because I tend to get the fuck out of the way when people are trying to stab me in the face. Guess that makes one of us smarter than the other, huh?
I am laughing my ass off right now.
He is a proper sarky bastard, this guy. Like. I modelled him on somebody. Can anyone guess who?
Right,
Well, Ken. Well, Lanken, you can believe I'm the traitor if you like, but I ran through the woods with everyone else while they shot at me.
Didn't
I
hit you
tried
though,
to
did
stop
it?
them killing your friends, your associates, but
I'll
I
see.
just didn't have the power to turn enough of them.
I'll say, wait a minute. Did you tell them about the dryads that we met?
I did, yes.
Right.
And he didn't laugh, so you know.
Right. So, is he trying to say he doesn't trust that we're not working for?
Well, we're all looking for the traitor, aren't we? And he's got every right to suspect everyone.
Well, doesn't he think that the dryads would probably not have let us live if that were the case? Aren't they? Don't they have a lot of strange powers? Wouldn't they be able to pick up on that kind of thing? I don't.
Suppose, but they don't really live in our world, do they? They don't really see things in black and white the way we do.
They seem pretty angry when we're mentioned undead.
Yeah, as I understand these nature spirits, they don't like things that don't
stay dead.
That don't seem to be part of nature. They like things to die and rot and be returned to what they would call the cycle. You know, if the folklore's to be believed. So anyway, I have to say I don't care for you much. He's talking to Celeste at this point, because I never cared for you overly devout types. You always make me suspicious. But if anything, I would say this is the first time I've not been suspicious, because if there's anyone who isn't going to have betrayed us, I would think it would be one of you do-gooders.
Well, yeah, you would hope so.
Certainly would. So what makes you think you're safe with these two? He indicates three, actually. With these three, he indicates Balore and Edwyrd and Rowena.
Well, I mean, maybe not at first. Wasn't entirely sure of how much you could trust each other. I'm sure the feeling was mutual, but we've been through a few things together already, and I think if they had anything untrustworthy about them, they would have had the chance to act on it at this point.
Okay. So you think one person might have acted against all of you? Do you?
I don't know.
No.
We need more information. Somebody, I mean, it only takes one person, but there could be more.
Well, if this helps anything, I just struck up a conversation with the barman's wife.
Right.
And I found out that Fingal's cave is haunted by ghost oracles. They will tell you secrets or reveal future events, but only to those who strike a bargain with them.
Oh yes, the barmaid told me the exact same thing.
Well, that's the barmaid is the the barman's wife. Yeah. Unless you mean Eva, who's wandering around the streets.
Eva, the barmaid.
Eva, the barmaid.
Oh no, I don't like that.
So I think that maybe we should pay a visit to the cave, and it's worth a try. We could be like, hey, who's the traitor? And they might tell us.
So Lanken leans back a little bit further. If he leans back any further back, he's going to disappear over the top of that bar. But, Says, so you think we should tromp off into the mountains where people can die and never be seen again, into a cave nobody goes into, with a group of people that may or may not contain the traitor?
Opposed to sitting
Speak-
in a bar where
Speak
we
for
could
yourself.
die, surrounded by people who may be the traitor.
Okay, let me hear what you've got to say there.
Well, if there is a traitor among us or not, because I don't see that captain around anywhere. But a shifty little git like you would bloody sell out the mother for a few gold.
I think I did that once, actually.
Probably.
I'm not saying I wouldn't, but not to Mordrain. As I said, you won't have heard this, I said it to your friends earlier, but I wouldn't trust that creature. Certainly wouldn't sell out to him. Strikes me the only people that are in more danger from him than the rest of us are those who get too close.
Well, I mean, that's true. I think at this point we need to work together. Even if we can't fully trust each other yet, then we don't really have that much choice. If you heard what the Dryads said, they seem to be telling us that all the factions need to unite, otherwise we're going to fail.
So here's the thing. Without talking to her, he points at Rowena, you tell me what the Dryads told you.
Well, it was the exact same thing, wasn't it? So, well, I can. We wrote what they said down. I can read it word for word, but in summary, they said that we all need to unite, find the one that laid the bait, and visit on them the traitor's fate.
It seems to be close enough to what she said. Give us a communications persuasion roll from all of you can do one because you've all been trying to convince them.
Okay.
So you all get to make it. I'll take the highest number, and if that's a pass, I'll take the stunt dice from whoever rolled the highest stunt dice.
Communication, you say?
Yes, please.
Fuck, that was
Communication
shite.
persuasion.
Mine was really bad.
Jesus, mine was the highest. What the hell?
So yours was the highest at 14. Yeah.
The one with the lowest
the 5
communication.
stunts.
Let me just have a look what it takes to convince him. So, long Ken.
We're all trying to be fancy with
Like
our
Rowena's
words.
got +2.
Sorry?
Me or Ben?
Just trying to find Lanken. He's in here somewhere. In fact, I pretty much thought he was the first one. Lanken. Okay, you seem to be having the best of the argument so far. He seems relatively convinced by Celeste. A bit less so by the rest of you. He's still suspicious of the rest of you. But oddly enough, he seems to trust Celeste the most.
Maybe it's because he thinks that it'd be a bit weird if one of the faithful was,
Probably, yeah.
working with the usurper. Yeah.
It'd be
Okay.
a bit out of place if an elf betrayed, nature and everything that they stood for someone who worships and raises the dead, don't you think?
It kind of makes sense.
Give me
that
a perception test. A persuasion test, communication persuasion, and see if that sways him on the elf.
Ooh, nice.
It does. Okay. So far, Lanken trusts Celeste and Edwyrd, but he's not quite sure about Balore and Rowena.
Hey, am I able to use those stun points to, assist other people?
You might be able to take a look at the role-playing stunts and see what...
Yeah, because I got 5 as well. Let's see.
Okay.
I
So
don't think he has to trust us, he just has to work with us.
pretty much, yeah.
Well, he has to trust some of us enough to work with us in the first place, I suppose, but he doesn't have to like or trust all of us.
Could I use sway?
Yes, you can.
Your social gesture is especially potent. You shift your target's attitude an additional step in either direction of your choice.
Okay. Do you want to make him more or less hostile?
More hostile. No, I want to make him less hostile to us.
Okay, so that would mean that in addition to you and Celeste, he's starting to come round to the idea of Balore being trustworthy. Okay, that's 3 out of 4. So he will
Can I
Yeah, go ahead.
sway as well to help with his attitude towards
You can, yes. So you want to make him one step more more positive towards Rowena, yeah?
Well, explain what they did, how they helped us escape, everything like the stuff that we encountered in the forest and things, and say, look, they would have had plenty of chance to betray us at that point. I think they're trustworthy.
Okay.
Hell, we slept in a goddamn haunted house.
Yeah.
Well, I did.
Okay, well, here's the thing, I suppose. Strikes me I have about 2 options. And the first option is I make my way all the way back home on my own, since my 2 companions saw fit to get themselves killed. Or I come tromping after ghosts with you idiots.
I don't want to go tromping after ghosts.
I don't blame you, I'm not entirely seeing it myself.
I
But
don't know how to say this so everybody understands. If I want to see ghosts, I can raise them myself.
well, what's your other suggestion? Because right now, trying to make it all the way back to Durhamsford on my own doesn't hold a great deal of appeal. Might not trust you lot, but that's a long way for one man on his own who's been hunted to try and get.
Well, maybe we should try and find others who survived the attack. Alternatively, we need to do something to try and unite the factions. Whatever we could do to start heading in that direction, perhaps.
Okay, so what are you suggesting? Because your friend here seems to want to go to a haunted cave in the mountains.
Well, I mean, can't say I'm too keen on that idea, although it might be something that's useful, but
I mean, alternatively, we could try and rescue the ones that presumably were captured, like the Mages Guild or the Magic People, whatever they were called.
That would mean riding all the way to Baron Khaled's keep, breaking in
Yep.
and rescuing a bunch of people we don't know or like.
Yep.
Lars, you bristle a little bit at this point because, like, 2 of the people that are missing and who might have been captured are your guild mates.
yes, you want to find Fester on that, don't you?
Well, I'm a bit speechless, personally. My knee-jerk reaction will be, screw you. But yes, my 2 friends, if they are captured, they probably will need rescuing before they spill their guts, literally and figuratively.
Well, Balore, if they weren't captured, where would they most likely flee to?
Oh,
Probably back to the Stars Reach Academy.
yeah.
Maybe that's where we need to go.
Okay, Lanken kind of arches an eyebrow. It's like, now you want to go to Stars Reach Academy? Okay.
I mean,
Well, it's
Do
a
you have a
better.
better idea?
I think it's a better option than the haunted cave, seeing as like haunted means undead. Undead tend to be controlled by the
No, they're
usurper.
ghosts. They're ghosts. They're not undead.
That's
Ghosts
a
are
very
undead.
narrow sliver of a difference there, pointy
well,
Just don't be calling them undead when you see them. They won't like it.
I think what we need to do is try and find allies, people try and figure out who we can trust, and start working towards uniting, because otherwise we're not going to be. I mean, the whole point of the meeting was to try and help unite the factions, and that got, disrupted, didn't it?
Right.
So we need to try it again in whatever way possible.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. You might have noticed I wasn't entirely sold on the idea of uniting the factions in the first place, because I'm not sure we can trust each other. But it would seem to me that Baron Khaled's afraid of us doing exactly that.
Exactly. Yeah.
And he won't have acted without Modraine's orders. So anything Modraine's that frightened of, probably something we should be doing.
Exactly. And then on top of that, we were given a prophecy by the nature spirits in the forest, and I'm pretty certain that that's something that we can trust, perhaps.
Okay.
I don't know.
Well, they're unlikely to be serving the usurper, so...
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
But we're still no further forward about what our next move's going to be.
Well, we need to gather the factions back together. You know, our best bet would be to save the faction representatives.
No.
I think it'll be dangerous to try and get them all in one place again, but much as I dislike the notion of riding to the rescue of those idiots that got themselves caught, you're probably right about rescuing them, because what none of us have thought about is how much else they might know about the Uprising and the rest of the factions.
Yeah.
And if they get to Baron Khaled's keep, he'll find a way of getting it out of them.
So we'd be quicker, we'd be better rescuing them while they're still on the road, rather than trying to break into a keep. Not that I'm saying that Lankin, the Master Thief, couldn't break into Baron Khaled's keep.
Pretty sure
But
it could.
The rest of us aren't at that level. We're
Also,
not.
I might be pretty sure I can. I'm also pretty fucking sure I don't want to.
So,
Sounds like a damn dangerous.
Just think of what riches might be in his castle.
You can see, as you say that, you can see he's thinking this over. Make a persuasion test.
Hold on.
I don't think we should get them on the phone.
Communications persuasion.
No amount of riches is worth your life.
Says a man who's never been poor.
Yes. Okay. Lanken does not agree with Edwyrd on this point. I don't know. I can think of some amount of riches would be worth my life. You think I got into this way of life because I have a good life, do you? You think a man becomes the kind of man I am because he has enough money to get by? To be honest, some days you think getting killed on one of these things might be just as good as pulling it off, but I do like the idea of robbing that bastard. If all we can rob him of is a chance to torture your friends from the other factions, well, that might just be good enough. But if I can rob them of some shit I can sell at the same time, that might be better. What do you want to do then? Do you want to try and catch them on the road, or do you want to try and...
I want to try and catch them on the road.
That would be the best option, yeah.
And if we can't, we've got the option of going.
Well, if we want to catch them on the road, I think we'll need horses.
That we will.
Yeah.
There's quite the supply of them just outside.
There is quite a supply of them just outside, but they're not particularly fast horses. They're all team horses, wagon team horses. Can you see the map I've just pulled up?
Yes.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well, I was talking to somebody earlier. They said that they passed one of Baron Khalid's prisoner caravans on the road yesterday.
Right.
Sorry, this morning. And that it was heading west. My bet is the caravan that's going to have to stick to the roads.
Mm-hmm.
Which means they might have a day's head start on us, but they've got to go east through the Star and Shadow, all the way up to Allen's Ford, and down to Featherstone Keep.
Yeah.
If we set off at first light, we could cut down past the Cock and Crow, round the foot of the mountains that Fingal's caves in, and cut them off in the woods.
Mm.
We could save 2 days on their journey plan. Thing about that is, though, they'll be travelling 24 hours a day because they don't need a rest. But they also don't move very quickly.
Yeah.
So if we do try and cut them off, we might be doing it almost in the shadow of Featherstone Keep.
Right.
Might be better than actually in Featherstone Keep. He brings out a map similar to this one, except sort of hand drawn. And he starts measuring. So if we headed down to Valen Ford, that would be 20 kilometres. We can be there tomorrow. We can be at the Cock and Crow the day after. And we can be... It would take us another day and a half to 2 days to cut them off in the woods. They move a bit slower than we do, so let me just... they probably be at the Star and Shadow before we set off. And the following day they'll be at Allen's Ford. Yeah. We can cut them off in the woods about 10 kilometres north of Featherstone Keep, I think. Maybe if we cut through that wood again, maybe a bit sooner.
Well, hopefully there'll be none of his undead guards in the woods.
Hopefully. Or anything else in there. I mean, that witch house you encountered doesn't sound like something I want to run into.
No.
That's, of course, if you want to try and rescue these idiots.
I think we need
Well, it
any
would
fighter
definitely
we can get.
bolster the reputation, wouldn't it?
It would bolster our reputation, but is that really what we want to do? Do we want to try rescuing these idiots? I mean, they got themselves caught, didn't they? Yep.
Can you dispense with calling them idiots?
Certainly. What would you like me to call them? Fools? Idiots? Imbeciles? It's all the same to me. They got caught, we didn't.
Prisoners?
Fine, prisoners it is. I don't know. Everybody gets so easily offended these days.
And maybe if we can afford to, we could get horses along the way. Or I don't know, maybe there are other means by which we could get...
One of the faithful suggesting we steal.
No, I said maybe there are other ways we can get transport.
Well, one of these wagon trains round here is probably heading in roughly the right direction, but they'll not be fast.
Would it be faster?
Is there anywhere nearby where you can get a fast horse?
Valenford.
How far is Valenford?
It's about 20 kilometres away. If we set out tomorrow morning, we'll be there by nightfall if we push ourselves a little.
What if we set off right now and camped out?
Wouldn't be there tomorrow. That's,
There's no
of
reason
course,
to dilly-dally.
providing we don't bump into anybody like me out there.
There's no reason to have a good night's sleep, you know? Like, the prisoners aren't having a good night's sleep, so we shouldn't either.
The elf, who doesn't need as much sleep as the rest of you, was suggesting you don't have a good night's sleep. How does everybody else feel about it? Bear in mind, you're already tired because you didn't get a proper night's sleep
Yeah.
last night.
I don't
I'm
think.
gonna look into the bag with the frog in it and say, Toadie, can you bite? Can you bite me?
It's a shame it's not poisonous, really, I suppose.
A bit
No,
hard.
I didn't actually say that. Well, I mean, it would be faster to get transport, maybe, than walking, even if they are moving kind of slow, surely.
Well, they will be moving slowly, and they'll be moving at a walking pace, but they'll be doing it 24 hours a day. So they'll be going about 5 kilometers an hour, 24 hours.
Right.
It's about, let's see now.
550, that's 100.
Actually, I've overestimated how long it'll take you because I did my mental calculations in miles instead of kilometers.
Okay.
So you would, if you set out tomorrow morning, you would be at Valenford in, let's see, 5 kilometers now, 5, 10, 15, 20, about afternoon, in the afternoon.
Okay. Right, well, I think that's the best bet, really.
So the pros and cons of this situation is they're taking a much longer route than you, and they will be moving slowly because they're undead
But they're
and
moving
they're not
constantly.
fast. But they are moving 24 hours. They will not need to rest.
They don't have any threat of being attacked.
Well, yes, probably not. They have less threat of being attacked than you do. There is one way you could move 24 hours a day.
Okay.
We got a carriage and a driver?
Yep, something along those lines.
Hmm.
If you had wagons, you could take turns to rest in the back while other people drive, and then you could move 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
But we'd have to stick to the road.
But you'd kind of, well, not really. Some of these wagons are quite good off-road.
An off-road wagon.
Yeah, let me just point out how the West was won.
Yes, I know, but an off-road wagon sounds hilarious.
It does sound a bit amusing, but a lot of wagons are perfectly capable of travelling off-road. Bearing in mind, roads at this point are kind of just worn bits of ground, really.
Yeah.
Only the major ones are actually proper built roads. So yeah, you could do. I mean, one of these wagon trains, if it was heading in the right direction, might be willing to move.
Yeah.
You know,
We could ask. We could
all
see
day,
if...
all night, but it's they might not know. There'd have to be something in it for them, and they're probably not going exactly the right way. I mean, you can
These
travel.
look like very wealthy people as well. Like, I don't think that our little bit of silver is going to convince them.
Well, it depends.
You know?
You've got several different groups here. You've got this the large northern group on these two tables is a fairly well-off trading caravan, you would say. These guys here don't look anywhere near as well off. Same with the guys that you hadn't seen through the window, that you come straight through the door.
Okay.
These ones
they
look
would be
quite
extra
well.
muscle, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
These guys look gnarly, don't they?
Yeah, they do.
I want to approach them. Is anyone going to come with me and see if we can maybe win them over? Because it would be extra muscle. We don't know how many... Oh, wait, yeah. Can I ask Len? Lan, whatever his name is. Can I ask him, when his friends saw the caravan on the road, the skeletons, what was the force like?
I didn't think to ask the force. Hold on, I'll go and have a bit of a chat with them and find out. I just need to check who it is going in that direction. It's the large caravan.
So there'll be quite a lot of things to fight. I think it would be good if we got extra hands.
Well, the large caravans come from that direction, so they're not going to be going... Oh, no, wait a minute. Nope, sorry, got the wrong one there. It's not them. Who is it? The large caravan's heading in the direction of the Stars Reach Academy. And the...
Right.
Sorry, the Stars Water. They're heading to the towns around the Stars Water. The Stars Reach Academy is near the Stars Water itself. So they're heading in that direction. So the people who are... who is it now? Yeah, it would be... right. Got it. It's kind of third hand because he spoke to the... what he refers to as the Lengelalanders, and it wasn't actually them that saw it. They ran into somebody who told them they'd seen it.
Right.
So it is third-party information. It might not even be true.
We kind of just have to take their word on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, at the minute we're just having to trust who we've got no choice, really. Not really.
I think it would be beneficial to get a caravan, you know, the benefit of riding constantly, and we'll have... These guys look like they've seen combat, so...
It's up to you
Well,
guys. If you want to talk to some of the other groups, you can do.
Yeah, I want to move with these guys.
Okay.
I'm gonna use your talk to feature because I'm curious what they're gonna say.
Okay. You can use the talk to feature first. The talk to feature's for kind of rumours and chit chat.
Oh, we know about the witch houses. Don't worry.
But you can use that as often as you like, and then we'll role play any deeper conversations.
Ooh, they are supposed to. There are old smugglers' passages under the inn, somewhere in the storm cellar or the beer cellar. They are supposed to link to the played out mines to the east. I mean, that is the wrong direction, but it's useful.
It
Place to
might,
hide if we need to lie low.
yeah, it might be a piece of information that's useful for you for later on. So
And then witch houses again. Yeah.
Make a note of that. Yeah.
Yeah, so make a note that under the cat and mouse there are supposed to be some old smugglers' tunnels that lead to the played out mines to the east. Okay, so as you're talking to these guys, one of them pushes a chair out and says, "Take a seat if you wanna." Seems to be something on your mind. What do you want to talk about?
Well, you see, I was meeting with me and a couple friends were at a local bar, the Cock and Sparrow. Might have heard of it.
Nope, can't say I have.
Well, regardless, we were there, and the Baron brought his ungodly minions along, and we all got separated.
Right.
And I've just now heard rumours that some, important people, at least to me, have been captured, and you know how it is when your friends get hurt. You wanna get revenge. You wanna help them out. Well, we don't want them to go to the Baron's Keep and be tortured to death. So we're kind of looking for a ride and a bit of help in taking out their little prison cart. If you're into it. Being
lads,
just kind of...
Do you hear this? This dickhead wants us to take on Baron Callard. That's seditious talk.
No,
That'll get
not
us
the
all
entire,
disemboweled.
not the entire Baron Callard, just one of his just some lackeys, you know.
Ah, yeah, get that.
We'll pay
but
you well.
We're not
you don't even
crossing
have
the
to get
Baron.
involved in the fight. You
Fuck
don't have
that,
to get involved in the fight. You just have to get us there.
Right. Well, I don't think we can help you. We can take you as far as Vilford if you like, but we'll have to part ways there because that's where I'm going. I have business there.
How far is Vilford from where we want to ambush the?
It's 20 kilometres away from where you are now, so you'll be there by tomorrow afternoon. That's
Wait, Vilford was the place
take
you
it
said
that
we could get
far.
horses.
Just
Yes.
take it that far.
Oh, that's fine then.
Yeah, Vilford
Oh,
is
yeah.
the place that you that Lancan said you would probably be able to get horses.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, mate. Thank you. That would actually be quite helpful.
All right, well, we're leaving dawn, so if you're ready at dawn, we'll take you that far to strengthen numbers and everything. But I tell you now, we're not getting involved in any fights against the Baron's men.
I
for
don't
want of a better term.
suppose you would know of any, I don't know, cell swords that might want to get involved.
You'll probably find some at Vilford, to be honest.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bigger town, you see, it's easier to find men like you're talking about now, but how many of them will want to take on the Baron? And I don't know about that. Some might be daft enough, but I'd be a bit more careful who you tell.
Yeah, that is a good point. Where I'm from, we're a bit more openly spoken, but yeah, it's a good point.
All right then. Meet down here at dawn in the morning. We'll
All right,
take you as
thank you
far
very
as
much.
we'll take you as far as Vilford, but that's all we can do.
And then I'll just get up and go tell everyone. Hello again.
Okay then.
Right, so he
You
tells
guys
you
doing over here laughing?
it's got you a lift as far as Vilford. You think, oh yeah, that's really great. We'd have gotten there tomorrow afternoon anyway.
Yeah, but we'd have had to go on foot, wouldn't we?
You would, yes. You'd probably
Ah.
get there about the same time, but you'll be a lot less tired.
I was gonna say we could get rest, hopefully.
Yeah.
I just hope in the morning that they haven't sold us out to the authorities.
Fingers very much crossed, eh?
I don't really see many authorities round here. We're in the middle of bloody nowhere.
You're not that far. Well, no, I suppose you are.
Well, if you wake up to a sword to your neck, or you don't wake up at all, then you know they did.
I
We
mean,
don't wake up at all, you know.
He's such a comfort.
isn't he just yet? By the way, has anybody spotted any of the Easter eggs yet?
Been looking, and I can't say I have.
Okay.
No, I don't think so.
I haven't really had a poke about
Is it the cat? Is the cat one of them?
I mean, the cat's one of the Easter eggs, but there's another one as well.
Oh, I just noticed the cat.
Yeah. You can talk to the cat.
Comfortable ginger tomcat.
You can talk to the cat. Okay.
In a deep brush voice, it says hello there.
Do you know what? My cat literally just walked up to the bed and looked at me when I said that. And he's a ginger tomcat as well.
Hi.
He's like, talk to me. Meow. Did you hear him?
I did,
Meow. Yes, exactly. Yes.
I do
Exactly.
want to see what the cat has to say. What does it have to say?
If you
Purr,
want to
purr.
look for the other one, it's this stool over here. It's the other Easter egg.
Shitballs.
Stool? Which stool?
The one that Celeste's looking straight at.
Yeah. Can I talk to the stool? That's definitely not a mimic.
Yeah. It doesn't say anything back.
I'm going to try to. Let's see. No table found with that name, damn it.
Yeah. Like I say, the stool doesn't talk back, but if you hover over it, there is a little message there. Oh, hello, Balore's up and about. What's he up to?
Yeah.
I'm just gonna, I don't know, have a wander around. I'll sit down here,
Okay.
looking out the window.
Okay, you sit down there looking out the window. Give me a perception seeing test.
Right. Hold your
See if you
horses.
spot the Baron's men coming.
That's
See if
cool.
Sandreena's all right outside.
See if what's
Yeah.
Oh, yes, aye. Yep. The only thing you see outside at the moment is Sandreena, who's still kind of walking about, keeping an eye out for any hostiles or any problem.
Looking a bit bored by now, I guess.
So, you've managed to talk Ken into coming with you on a rescue mission, despite his deep suspicions about doing anything of the sort. But you've managed to talk him into it. You've managed to get yourselves some transport that'll take you as far as Vilford. What do you want to do for the rest of the evening?
Get drunk.
Okie dokie.
No.
I'm not
Well,
gonna get drunk, no.
we need to sort out accommodation for a start, like
Okay.
rooms.
Okay, well,
You're
we
gonna
probably-
charge us like to charge the wine. It's gonna be like your firstborn child.
It
Better
depends who.
not be.
It depends who asks. I mean, the others have got a strong suspicion that part of the reason they charged you so much was a touch of racism. Frankly, let's see if we can
Yeah,
scam
'cause
the
you're
elf
an
for some extra cash. Yeah.
I
So-
can ask.
Yeah, you can ask if you want to.
Yeah, I'll ask about how much rooms are.
All right. Yeah. Well, it depends. We've got a bunch of rooms upstairs. We've got communal rooms if you want to all share, or we've got. I mean, there's a few kind of barrack-style rooms. There's a one up there that's got 6 beds in it, for example. That'll probably suit you quite well. That's quite cheap. That's that. Let me see now.
Gets out his calculator.
I'm just bringing it. That's 2 copper pieces per person for the first night, and then then it's 1 copper piece per person per night after that.
Okay.
I'm astonished how much. Oh my god.
That's copper, remember. There's 10 of them per
Copper.
silver piece.
Yeah, I think
That's
that'd be
10.
alright.
Okay.
Yeah,
Or if
that'll
you
do.
all want rooms of your own, we can accommodate that as well, but it will cost you more.
I'm fine sharing.
Okie dokie. Well, that first night up front, and that'll be 2 copper each.
Okay.
Okay.
There's,
You said it was 10 copper per silver, right?
There's 10 copper per silver piece, that's right.
So I would have 3 silver left and 8 copper. Okay.
So let's see, between...
You'll be stealing things with Lion Ken before you know it.
yeah,
I know, right? I'm so poor.
We've got Edwyrd, Celeste, Balore, Rowena, and
Sandreena as well.
Sandreena. So there's 5 of you.
We can offer the extra space to Lion Ken if he wants it, if he's not already got a room here.
Okay, he hasn't. He looks a bit uncertain at first, and then shrugs and says, "Well, you can't all be the traitor. I suppose if we all stay in the same room, makes us all a damn sight safer, don't it?"
Yeah.
All right then, and he throws in 2 copper into the pot as well. Fine.
Still do want to do shifts though. You know, sleeping shifts.
Yep, seems fine to me. Did you say there were 6 beds in there? Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I don't mind sharing with that redhead who's still outside.
I don't think she's gonna want to share with you.
I don't know. I mean, you don't know what they asked, do you?
Well, here's a tissue for when she breaks your nose.
It occurs to you that, like, she's outside, not drawn attention to herself. None of you have mentioned that she was outside, and he'd still noticed, which gives you a bit of
Right.
a clue about how high his perception is.
Okay. Well, we should probably get Sandreena back in here. Maybe we could have a couple of drinks or something.
Okay.
I don't know. I
Landlord,
don't know. Do the faithful, are they allowed to drink?
who allowed to drink? The faithful, oh yes, yeah.
Yeah. Good.
Landlord, another round of drinks and a blonde one over here's paying.
Fine.
That'll be another 5 copper pieces.
Oh my God. Right.
Okay, so you all have a few drinks before you decide what you're going to do next. Are you going to have a few drinks? You going to have something to eat, or have you decided that they've taken enough of your money? Or...
I'm not going to buy anything more. No.
Yeah, okay.
I'll have a plate of whatever's on the go.
Right, you are. It's cold cuts at this point in the night and evening, sir. And he starts carving bits of what looks like beef off a hunk of beef. He carves bits off, puts it on a plate for you, butters some bread, gives you that, and a little bit of cheese. Well, it's a fairly sizable chunk of cheese actually. He hands you that as well, and half an onion.
Well, that's fine.
There you go, sir.
Sounds
That'll
quite
be another
nice,
2
actually.
copper pieces for that.
Okay, no problem.
You enjoy that now.
Thank you.
But actually,
For all
you're
it
making
looks-
us hungry. That sounds really nice.
Doesn't it? For all it looks fairly basic, it's actually quite. Although the beef's cold now, it was clearly cooked to perfection when it was cooked. The breads was fresh baked today, so it's not still hot by the time you're getting it, but it's still sort of soft and fresh, and the outside's very crunchy. The cheese is nice. All the things actually much better than it looks.
Right, I'll ask for some as well, and I'll say to Lanken, do you want something to eat?
Oh well.
Looking a bit lanky, Ken.
Go on, and I'll have something to eat as well.
All right, another couple of plates, one for me and one for this gentleman.
Gentleman's the term you're looking for there.
Yeah, kind of.
Handsome gent, if you must. Yeah, that's
right.
a bit of a stretch, even for me, actually, to be fairly honest.
Cheeky twat.
Now, that one you're probably right about.
You know who this guy reminds me of?
Uh-huh.
You guys watch Game of Thrones?
Yes.
Yeah.
Of course,
You know
we
Tyrion,
watched
the
Game
little,
of
the little
Thrones.
dwarf?
Tyrion, yeah.
You know, it's a stupid question,
Ron.
but still. You know Tyrion, the little dwarf?
Yeah.
You know his bodyguard?
Yeah.
Ron.
Yeah, Bron.
Is his name Bron? Yeah.
Bron.
Yeah.
Bron.
He reminds me exactly of Bron.
Yeah, it does a bit,
Yeah.
actually, now you can't
Pretty
mention
much.
it, yeah. Okay, so you spend the night having a few
If he
drinks
starts
and...
singing Unchained Melody, I'm going to have to kill him.
Yes, I don't think Ben will be old enough to know what that reference is about, though. The guy that plays Bron was also famous for being one of a duo that did a cover version of the song Unchained Melody.
Yeah.
I didn't know
And Up on the Roof, did they do as well? I think they did.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I blocked it for the sake
Yeah,
of
it's
my
too traumatic. Let's not talk about it anymore.
So you spend a little bit more of the night having something to eat and a few drinks and sort of trying to forget the immense amount of danger that you feel you're in. Nonetheless, every time the wind rattles the door, you still kind of jump a little bit. Every slight sound outside still perturbs you just a little bit. When it comes time to retire for the evening, most of the merchants have already gone to bed because they're planning to leave. Sort of first light. It's fairly common for merchants not to hang about. They get up at first light, have something to eat and leave to get on with their journey because the faster they get somewhere, the better it is for them.
Yeah.
So most of them have turned in before you do. By the time you turn in, there's just the barman left, just kind of snuffing out the candles on the tables, doing a last bit of like cleaning down.
The kitty's gone next to the fire. Sorry.
That's where it started. It just kind of wandered around and went back.
I'm going to stroke the kitty before we go to bed, and I'll give it a bit of the niche.
Okay.
Sorry.
By the way, you can speak to people you've spoken to before, and they should give you a different message. That includes the card, believe it or not.
So it'll say meow again.
It should give you a different message entirely, actually.
Okay.
Purr, meow, owl, purr.
Yeah. Purr, meow, owl, purr. Yeah.
So eventually you go to bed and retire. You notice that Lanken's out like a light. He takes out one of his daggers. He stuffs it under his pillow. Still in the sheath, obviously, so he doesn't stab himself in the back of the neck. He just gets on the bed and he's out. Just gone like that.
Oh, God.
The rest of you, it takes you a little bit longer to compress. Now then, decompress, I should say. Now then, Edwyrd.
Yes. Oh, wait, no. Wait. Oh, no. We already knew that. It's fine.
Did you say you were all sleeping, or did you say somebody was staying awake?
I'm going to get the minimum amount of rest, and then I'm staying up.
Right, okay.
You need less sleep, so makes sense.
I was actually thinking about going out and getting some food, but I have a feeling the doors are going to be locked, so...
Of the inn, you mean?
Yeah.
You could try it. They're probably not, well, they might be. They might not.
You know, just like gonna go and to quickly scavenge some like apples and everything for when everyone wakes up, so I can just throw them at everyone and we can leave straight away.
Okay, yeah. So
that's my plan.
That's your plan? Right, no problem. I'm just going to drag you back onto the landing page for a moment because you're not actually in a tap room anymore. So you creep down the stairs, trying not to disturb anybody else too much. Give me a perception hearing test, please.
I want to make it pretty adamant, though, that I'm not trying to look suspicious, because I know that guy still might think that I'm the traitor.
Yes.
Like, if I'll look over, and if I can see that he's awake, I'll say, I'm just going to go get some food for you all.
Okay.
Whispering.
Okay. It doesn't look like he is awake.
Okay. Hearing, you said?
Yes, please.
Okay. 13.
As you're creeping down the stairs, trying not to wake anybody else up, you realise that somebody else must have had a similar idea to you, because you can hear somebody moving around downstairs in the darkened tap room.
Can I see them with my dark vision?
Give me a perception seeing test. And I will make a stealth test for them, and we will just see if you spotted them or not. So I'll pan down to theirs.
Well, I've heard them, so I'm going to look for them either way.
Okay, so, well, you might not have heard them. You don't know what your target number is. So you scored 11, did you say? Oh, sorry, no, you did hear them because I told you that. You're looking for them now. Sorry, ignore me. It's been a long day. So you're scanning around to see... I'll just take that. I meant to take that. To see if you can spot whoever made the noise that you're pretty sure you just heard.
Would I be allowed to have my at least my rapier with me or something?
Oh, yeah. I don't see a problem with that.
Yeah.
Whoever's down there, you can't see them.
Well, if it's okay, I will stealth mode and just kind of search around while being stealthy.
Okay. You start stealthing about. Give me a stealth test, please.
Where the hell? Oh, there's dexterity.
Okay, dexterity 14. So if there is there is somebody down
there.
If
that's a fail, I can
they're
reroll.
going to have to beat 14. Okay, if that's a fail, you can reroll. Right, you are. So they're going to need to beat 14 to sense your approach. You're going to have to reroll.
Okay.
14 is not high enough to avoid them.
12 woman.
Okay, so as you're creeping down the stairs, you can feel like the tension's building. There's somebody in the darkness. You should be able to see them, but you cannot. There must be either down behind something, so you're kind of carefully, quietly moving around in the hopes they can't see you the way you should be able to see them. Let's see if they manage to creep up on you. Okay, give me another perception test. You can choose either seeing or hearing.
Not very good.
Okay, so what happens next comes as a complete surprise to you, but suddenly out of the dark, as you're sort of looking around, out of a darkened corner, you just see something streak towards you, straight towards you, and it's scampering at a fairly high speed. And scampering is definitely the term you would use for it. There's a squeak. So it's not the kitty cat is too big. It's nearly the same size he is. There's a loud squeak as it leaps over one of the tables. A large and wicked dagger plunging down towards you as you see bearing towards you a human-sized rat man. Its red eyes glaring in the darkness. Its big teeth bared as it's desperate to get in there and kill you before you raise the alarm. Meanwhile,
And he
upstairs.
shouts, "Hey, rat friends!"
Oh yeah, yeah. Upstairs we're like,
Except that Lanken's actually quite a light sleeper and is very much aware that the elf has crept out.
right, yeah.
So, given that he's not entirely sure he trusts any of you, he's going to creep out to see what the elf is up to. Right?
I read about the rat men
Did
when I
you?
was talking to one of the people. Somewhere.
Ah, right, okay.
Fight.
Oh, yes. As he creeps out, we are going to say, give me a perception hearing test for the rest of you. See if he wakes anybody up.
The
Okay.
mind.
Fucking hell! Right, Balore's wide awake. You're aware that
Brian,
Lanken.
I'm actually in the middle of doing something, so I can't make my test at the moment.
That's okay.
Sorry.
I'll do that for you. Let me just pan down. Da-da-da. Where are we now, Rowena? Character sheet.
Peel's like zing.
Yeah. Perception. It's a very hard test to pass this one as well, but 19 with 6 stunts. Lars, something's moving in the room. It wakes you up instantly. You see a dark form creeping through the room away towards the door. It takes you a half a second to realise it's Lanken. Seems to be leaving the room quietly. What are you going to do?
I just quietly, "Oi, where are you going?"
I'm going to see what that damn elf's up to. He just crept out of here a moment ago. How much
Hang
do you
on, I'll
trust him?
come with you.
Okay. You join him. You like quickly sling something on and grab your magical focus just in case. Just as he's got his knife, you creep out and onto the corridor, and as you do, you can hear a squeaking noise from downstairs. Sounds like something is actually doing the squeaking. Moments after that, you hear the sound of, you think it's probably Edwyrd, yelp, and you realise that something down there has just attacked your elf friend.
Squeaking sound. Has this place got rats?
If the rats, the big rats, says Lanken. You can see that even in the dark, you see his face is peeled as you get to the top of the stairs looking down. You can see it is a rat, only it's a rat that's on two legs, has a wicked looking dagger in one hand, is almost up to Edwyrd's chin, and is kind of snarling at him, attempting to rip his throat out with its dagger. And
Do I have any ideas to what it is? Will I know, or
give me a arcane law or a cultural law roll or a natural law roll. Any
Bloody
one of
hell,
those will take.
Balore.
Fucking hell! Right, Balore. Yes, you know what this is, and your blood runs cold at the thought of it. It suddenly occurs to you there's a full moon outside, and what's attacking him is a were-rat.
Shit.
Were-rat?
And wherever there's a
You've got
were-rat,
no luck, Ben. None at all.
and wherever there's a were-rat, there's probably another one.
What did you say, Marie? Sorry?
You've got no luck at all, Ben.
No, I don't. You're right.
Okay,
Wherever I go, trouble follows.
so very quickly, what's Balore doing?
I'm gonna throw an icy grip on that ratkin.
Okay, so
On
you
that
prepare
were-rat.
you prepare a spell. Lanken's going to raise the alarm so that the others can wake up. And Ben, what are you going to be doing?
I'm going to shoot it with a crossbow.
Okay, so you reach for your crossbow. The were-rat gets a single round of surprise in at you because it came out with its stealth over past your your thing. So let's see if it makes its first attack on you. What's your defense?
Not that high.
Okay, so it smacked you with its sword. That's the first thing it's done. I just want to see what its favorite.
It's a +6 to attack.
It is a
me.
+6 to attack. Yeah, I wasn't expecting it to be a one-on-one fight, if I'm entirely honest. So it's going to seize the initiative for 2 points, and it's going to attempt. Well, it's a dagger it's using here, so it's not good. So it's going to skirmish you backwards and siege. Oh no, it doesn't want to skirmish you backwards. Right, so it flings you into the bar and tries to cut your throat. As it slashes, the dagger does. That's odd because I heard that come up. There it is. Sorry, that's an attack I rolled by mistake. Sorry about that. It's worse. It's 15 points of damage.
Jesus!
Right. As it slashes at your throat, you can feel it's like caught your throat. There's blood seeping from the open wound. Your eyes widen as you think, it's just caught my throat. You try to bring your crossbow up. Your arms are weakening, but you think you can level off and get a shot. He's right on top of you, so you shouldn't miss. You're aware of the fact that at the top of the stairs, help is already on its way. Are you going to survive long enough for them to arrive? Let's find that out next week.
Oh, no! That is not fair!
To be continued.
To be continued. Next week we will find out if the sudden attack of the were-rat is going to take out. Actually, if you hadn't been poking around in the middle of the night, the things would have eventually found you in your room. So you kind of...
You're welcome, guys.
Yeah. Okay, so thanks very much for joining me for the game. Hope you've enjoyed it. We'll pick up next week at the same point where the fight with the were-rat is just about to begin, and we know that Lars and Lanken are Balore and Lanken are on the top of the stairs looking down, and that I'll tell you what we can do actually. I will allow you guys to make your initiative. Yeah. So
Okay.
We don't have a pog to select.
You will have in a second. Just bear with us. I'll just take you back over to the cat and mouse. This is a cat and mouse during the day I've taken you over to, so everybody else is not still there. But if you just want to make your initiative tests, and so Edwyrd will be on 14. Okay, Celeste's on 14.
Are you rolling for Sandreena?
I'll get Marc to do that next week. It's just the people that are involved in the kind of first round, really, that we need. So Balore's on 11, and I'll need to do one for Lanken, but we'll leave it there till next week. We'll pick the fight up right as that gets started. And thank you very much for coming. If you've been watching the show, thank you very much for watching this evening. We'll pick up next week right at the beginning of the battle with the were-rat that they found in, funnily enough, the cat and mouse.
It's quite ironic,
isn't it?
I guess.
I couldn't resist, if I'm entirely honest. If you've enjoyed the show, do feel free to tell everybody about it. Try and get as many people as possible to watch it. If you're watching it on YouTube, do please give us a like and a follow. And Jenni's going to tell you a little bit more about some other stuff as well. Over to you, Jenni.
Oh, yes. Don't forget to give the Gethsemane Games Twitter a follow. And also take a look at the Facebook page.
We'll see you again next week. Do take care, stay safe. We'll see you back here to find out what happens with the battle between the party and the werebeasts in the darkness. Thank you very much for joining us. Do stay safe. Take care. We'll see you next week.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.